Hello, good morning guys, or night, or midday. I don't know. I am doing my June wrap up and my July TBR in this video. I moved into a new house, so things got really crazy really quick, and we started the home buying process at the end of May. So June was just wild, and I really didn't get to read that much. I tried my best with a lot of audiobooks, and that's what really saved me. So the first half of this video, I'm going to be talking about the books I read in June. So I read a total of 7 books, which was 2,706 pages, which is very low for my usual. And I read 4 contemporary, which I never read contemporary, so that's impressive. 2 mysteries / thrillers and 1 fantasy. So usually I read mostly fantasy and thrillers, so I'm proud of myself for going out of the box and reading a lot of contemporary. So the first book I read in June is In 5 Years by Rebecca Serle. And I gave that one 4 stars. I really liked it, but like I said, I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed the story. It is super short. I think it's about like 250 pages, so I read it fairly quickly, and I thought it was a romance going into it, and it turns out it's actually more of like a story about a friendship, and it's really good. It's heartbreaking but hopeful, and it's very sweet, and I really liked it. It's got the twist of like a random time travel / peek into the future moment that I thought was well done, and I really liked it. So if you need a short read, I would definitely pick up this one, and you can get through it pretty quick. And the font is still pretty decent for it to be a tiny book. The next book I read is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I'm not going to get it off my shelf because it's at the very bottom of a stack. I literally just threw my books up here because I'm getting another bookshelf built, so what's the point of organizing them, right? So I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. The audiobook was amazing. The narrators were perfect, and I think it's a great YA fantasy, and it was just really fun. Like, it was a fun story. It's super immersive in the world, and she does a great job with world building and cultural atmosphere. It was really, really good. So if you need an audiobook, I would recommend that one. And if you don't know anything about it, it's about Zélie, or yeah, I think that's how you say it, Zélie. And she is trying to get magic brought back to her kingdom. It's been taken away from their king, and she's trying to get it back, and she goes on this quest to find this certain scroll. So the scroll will bring back the magic, and along the way she has 2 people who are trying to stop her from doing that. Well, technically 1 person, but that person is trying to stop her from bringing magic back to the kingdom on the king's orders, and a lot happens at the end. The end was crazy. So if you want an adventure story with a quest, definitely pick up this one if you haven't already. I really enjoyed it. 4.5 stars, so pretty good. And the third book I read in June was The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. I gave this 5 stars. I loved this book. It is definitely one of my new favorites. It will be in my top favorites of the year. Since I'm fairly new to the Bookstagram BookTube community, I wasn't really aware of what books were out there and what was popular at the time, because I only got back into reading last summer. So it's been 1 year now that I've started reading a lot again. And so I've actually discovered this one through Bookstagram, with people just absolutely adoring it. And I picked it up finally to read, and my life was changed. It is an amazing story, and Angie Thomas does a great job of writing like situations and issues going on in the world. She writes them to where you can understand them, and I think any teenager or even like a preteen would be able to understand the topics discussed in this book. And if you didn't know what this book is about, it's about Star and her best friend Khalil gets murdered by a police officer. And it's a story about her trying to stand up for what's right and bring justice for Khalil while facing people who they profile Khalil as another black drug dealer and another black gangster kid. So they think the cop had every right to do that. And so it's a story about her bringing awareness to how the truth behind the matter, and showing that, you know, just because you're black doesn't mean you're a drug dealer or a gangster or whatever. You're a good person. Even if you happen to get into those things, there's like so much systematic oppression behind the choices that these teenagers have to make nowadays. And it was very well done. And please read this book if you have not already. It is amazing. So good. And the fourth book I read for June was Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I gave it 5 stars. I really liked this book of his. I got it from the library, and it takes you on a wild ride. It's very intense. This was a very intense book. The first 2 I feel like were kind of more of a slow burn, to whereas this one was like high intensity. And I can't decide if it's my favorite that I read. I read all 3 of his books. Now he has 4, but I read those 3, and it might be my favorite the more I think about it. So give this one 5 stars. It's about I have no idea what her name is. I forgot. I feel like it's Megan, but I think that's wrong. Anyways, the main character, she moves into this hotel in New York City and is being paid to apartment sit this apartment. And she meets some people, discovers that there's some really weird things going on in the hotel. And of course, you know, like every mystery, she tries to solve it herself, and that's when things go south. So I don't want to spoil anything for the book, but it's really good. And if you like thrillers, this is a good one. It's like paranormal, but how much paranormal? I don't know, but really good. And the 5th book I read in June was The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. Yeah, I gave it 2 stars. It was a fantastic story leading up to the ending, and I hated the ending. Or just kidding, I gave it 3 stars. 3 stars because of the story, and the ending just fell flat. So it's about, I forget her name again. I can't remember thriller characters' names ever. So she gets a nannying job for this family, and a bunch of weird stuff is happening in the house. The house is like super high tech, and a lot of weird things are happening, and she's not sure what's going on. These kids are super weird that she is watching. And at the beginning of the story, it starts off with letting you know that one of the children is dead. Well, she's in jail for this crime, and she's trying to get someone to contact a lawyer to get her out of jail because she's saying she didn't do it. Go back to the past, and the story unfolds, and it's a really good story. And then the ending was stupid. It was like a similar ending to Behind Your Eyes by Sarah Pinborough, to whereas the ending just goes a complete different way than how the story is leading up, and I don't like that. So yeah, I mean, it was okay. A lot of people like this book. I thought it was, you know, just in the middle. So the next book I read this month was The Dream Daughter by Diane Chamberlain, and I gave this one 4 stars. I really liked this. Another contemporary with like a slight like a time travel element in it. So it's not, I mean, yeah, it's a big deal, but it's not like the whole story. So I picked this one up on recommendation from Gabby Reads, and I really liked this story. The audiobook's also really good too, so I kind of listened and physically read this one while I was packing, and I really liked it. It follows a main character, Carly. So Carly is a widow. She had just been widowed. Her husband was killed in the Vietnam War, and she realizes soon after, or finds out soon after, that she is pregnant, and then finds out that her baby has a heart condition, that they don't have the resources and knowledge to help her. So basically they tell her, like, sorry, but your baby's going to probably die either in the womb or right as she's born. So her brother-in-law tells her that there's a way for her to get the proper care and surgery for her baby. It just includes time travel. She's like, what the heck? How is that even possible? But it's the story of her end up going to the future, and a lot of stuff goes down real quick. And things go wrong, things go right. But it's just a really good story. The ending was beautiful. Like the last, I don't know, maybe 30 pages, it was just amazing. The story is just really good. The ending was very well done. I really liked this. I hadn't ever heard of it until Gabby talked about it. So pick this one up. It's been out for quite a while. Let me see. Oh, okay, only 2018, so that's really not that long ago. But yeah, this was a really good story, and I highly recommend this one. Probably one of my favorites of the month, along with The Hate U Give. This one is probably, well, I don't know, actually, now that I think about it, the month of June, I really liked all the books I read. So all right, sorry if the angle changed slightly. I had to get a new memory card. The next book I read, and the last book I read for June, was With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I gave this 3.5 out of 5 stars. My cats. I listened to it on audio. I really liked it. I just wasn't, I think it was the pacing for me. Like, the pacing could have been better, and that's why it's not a higher rating. But I really liked the story. It's about a girl who is a teen mom, and her passion is cooking and trying to figure out what she can do outside or after high school to get a job and support her family. And it was just a really good story. It was a good story about being a teen mom and like still having passions, because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, once you have a baby so young, like, you're going nowhere in life. Like, I feel like that's a stupid like assumption people have of teen moms, and that's so dumb. So it's basically a story about just her and Amani, that's her name. It's a story about Amani and her life, and it's really good. The food aspect was really cool, and it was a really great book to listen to. So yeah, that's all the books I read in June. Hopefully July I can get more reading done, but honestly, probably not. I'm filming this July 8th, so it's already 8 days into the month, and I've already read one book, finished one book, which was A Song Below Water by Bethany Sumaro. So I finished it up already. I'll say more in the wrap up for the month, but I give it 2 stars. So I'll go into more detail later on this month when I do the wrap up. Yeah. All right, so. Okay, wow, that's an unflattering frame to freeze on. Anyways, the next couple clips are going to be out of focus, but it gets fixed soon, so keep hanging in there. Okay, thanks, bye. For the month of July, there is the reading rush happening kind of towards the end of the month. Well, pretty much at the end of the month. So I have a separate TBR for that. I'm going to film that soon, within a couple days, and get that up. All these books are going to be separate from that readathon. So these are more kind of like possibilities, or like what I plan to read before that week in June or in July. So these are what I have for my TBR for July, apart from the Reading Rush TBR. So, what I'm currently reading is Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. It's the sequel to Skyward, why did I say that weird? Sequel to Skyward. Really, really loved Skyward. It's definitely one of my favorites of the year too. So yeah, this is the sequel. My friend's letting me borrow it. I can't tell you much about the sequel because it'll ruin the first book, but it's about Spensa. Spensa is trying to get into flight school and carry on the legacy her dad has established, but it's a not so great legacy. So she's trying to get into flight school while still having her dad's reputation hang over her back. So very interesting story and so funny. Like, there's just so many cute little things in there that I really enjoyed. And Spensa is a great character. All the characters in Skyward are really good, really well developed. So I can't wait to continue on with Starsight. And the next book I absolutely will get to before the Reading Rush will be Starfish by, I'm gonna say this so wrong, I'm so sorry. Akemi Dawn Bowman. Akemi, I think that's how you say it. Akemi Dawn Bowen. I don't know much about this book other than it's a hard-hitting contemporary, and Books with Chloe loved this book and has a whole vlog on it, so please go watch her video on it. This is about a Asian main character. I'm not sure if she's Asian American like Chloe or just Asian, not sure, but Chloe absolutely loved this book, and she has like way more in-depth feelings about it than probably I will have since it is more personal to her. But I can't wait to read this. She like raved about it, and I've heard only good things about this book. So, and excuse this red mark on my cheek. I don't know why, but it's like irritated and itchy. Probably my cats. So I'm going to get to this one for sure this month before the Reading Rush. And the next two are kind of possibilities, and if I'm just in the mood to read them, I'll read them. So I have The Loop by Ben Oliver. I received this advance copy at YALLFest in, what was that, November, October, something? And I still haven't read it. So it came out in April, and I know it's about the main character. I think it's a he, yeah. He is stuck on a time loop, which is why it's called The Loop. And he's in this prison that he's trying to escape out of. So every single day, he repeats the same day, but has to try and learn from the previous day's activities to get out of the prison. And yeah, so I know it's a sci-fi, and I cannot wait to read more sci-fi. And I totally forgot I even had this book, which makes me mad because I've had it in my possession for months. So yeah, and I want to read it because I've literally not seen a single thing on Bookstagram or BookTube about this book. So if it's really good, I want to share it. And if it's not good, well, yeah, that's that. The next book that is a possibility is Year One by Nora Roberts. I was watching a video of someone reading this book, and like, I know it's Nora Roberts, so like usually romance, but this is her like first fantasy series, and apparently it has like fairies and sprites in it, which I love that kind of stuff. So I know it's like a fantasy dystopian, and that's all I know about it. I feel like this is something I don't want to know much about going into it, just because I feel like it'll keep the story more interesting and surprising. So yeah, I've had this one for quite a while too. I really need to get to it hopefully this month. We'll see like just how much I can read this month with unpacking and getting settled into the new house. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be posting some moving vlogs soon, and I will also be posting my Reading Rush TBR very soon as well. So thank you guys for watching again. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!